This is Cat's Lounge, a show where we talk about the hard, pun intended, funny, and difficult topics of love, sex, and relationships. So let's sit, sip, and chat. I keep forgetting my drink, but the show goes on. So today I wanted to talk about closure. So closure, in a nutshell, just means you're making peace with the past. No matter what happened, you can move on with the knowledge that what happened and there's nothing you can do about it, right? And when it comes to relationships, I figure that we have a hard time doing that. We have a hard time just saying, you know, I was treated badly, but I'm fine, or this person just out of the blue say they want to break up with me, which I feel like there's no such thing as out of the blue. Like we sometimes close ourselves to the red flags that we see or to someone's unhappiness, and then when they break up with us, we're like, whoa, how, why, you know. A very good example of like people, and I just feel like for this instance, the example that I'm going to give, I just feel like the guy was just doing it for money, but whatever. So this is couple, country music. If you're not a country music fan, bear with me. So this couple, they were married and they got a divorce. So in the agreement, the divorce was nobody talks about what happened. Like the same old saying, irreconcilable differences is the reason why we broke up. That's it. Amen. Move on. So you can't profit from the divorce. You like the because the lady was earning more or whatever. She had to pay him. Like he got half of her stuff, basically. So then he went out and released a song where he was saying, basically, I feel like I was blindsided. I feel like you dumped me out of the blue. I feel like we didn't have problems. I feel like we could have solved the little thing, you know. Like he minimized the situation and was like, I'm the victim here. Of course, women being women got the receipts and the stuff. So she came out and was like, wait, what do you mean? We went to therapy for years. You were touring the world and you didn't even know where I was half the time. I didn't even know. Like, there was so much going on in that relationship that for him to say, when did you stop loving me? She's like, I never said I stopped loving you. I just said I got tired of pretending we are okay. And even through therapy, we couldn't be okay. So I guess to him, closure was the song. And to her, it was like, no, we're not going to do that. And she had made a whole album, an EP about it. So, you know, in relationships, we go through that where one person is saying, no, this was my experience. The other person is saying, but wait, no, that was not it. This was what happened. So closure, I feel, comes from that perspective of, I feel wronged and I have no explanation of why someone wronged me. So the reason why this thought came into my mind of closure is because I was talking to an ex of mine. We've been broken up for like 6-7 years, and the time we were together, we were on and off for 4 years. Because, like I've talked about him before, we were on and off for 4 years because he has stuff to deal with that after the conversation we had years later, I kind of like, oh, I understand. But then at the same time, as much, the thing about closure is you get the answer, but the answer is never like, okay, no, then it's fine. I get it. You kind of like, but I was there trying to get you out of the thing. I was there trying, you're kind of like, from my perspective, I was trying to fix the thing that you say was the problem, but you couldn't allow me to. Which was my thing, is like, okay, you had these things that you were dealing with that, honestly, in the situation I was in, I had a home, I had a family, and he was struggling with his thing of belonging and all of that stuff. And at the same time, I had my own mental health stuff where I felt unloved and all of that. And kind of like, can you just love me in the way that I want to be loved? And he was just like, can I just fix my life? Then we'll see. So you have these two people who are battling to be in each other's lives, but the thing that they need to feel complete in themselves is the thing that the other person cannot give them, right? I couldn't give him what he wanted because I was still in university. I had nothing. And as much as I tried to show him that I love you, he also felt like, oh my God, why are you loving? Oh yeah. Kind of reminds me of my first boyfriend. Anyway, again, someone I've talked about in this thing. So it's kind of like he said to me, like, he loved me, but he just was not where he wanted to be in his life. So he just needed me to just like, can you go away? But at the same time, can you please stay? You know? And his actions were more pushing me away than bringing me closer. And the moments, and I was telling him, we had good moments, and he was like, I do not remember any of the stuff that you're talking about. I was telling him about the good moments we had when we went shopping together for my graduation, when he bought me the stuff that he bought, and he was like, I don't remember any of that. I was like, wow, okay. And I was just like telling him, oh, this happened, and he was like, I don't remember. And I believe, like maybe a year after we broke up, had we had this conversation, it would have tortured me and hurt me so deeply. But in somewhere in my mind, I kind of understood, and it did make me sad a little bit. Like, I didn't know the stuff, because to me it was like, you're pushing me away, that means you don't love me. But he was saying, I did, I just wasn't where I thought you expect. I thought I needed to be with you. And also he was like, had it been the reverse, like if I treated him the way he treated me, he would have dumped me. I was like, well, yeah, men look out for themselves, seriously. And it's not a bad thing most of the time. Like, they look out for number one. It's like, if this is not working for me, I'm gone. And we women are like, well, let me, we become Captain Save-A-Hose because don't know what it is about women. We just want to save somebody. This is why we like bad boys also. We just want to be the hero in the story of, she came into my life and fixed everything. But you can't be that person at the detriment of your heart and your well-being. Because, like, this, again, we were on and off for 4 years and a lot happened. He would disappear on me. And me being me, I'm not the kind of girl who just rocks up at a guy's place. Because I'd be like, I've heard stories, women finding their man on top of another girl. I'm like, I'm not going to witness that. I do not want to see that. If he's wherever, that's him. He'll come back and then he'll explain. Again, the wrong thing to do. Kept making excuses. So when we finally broke up, I was just mad at him because he had a baby and he didn't tell me. And it was like, wait, but you had a baby when we were not together. We got back together after the whole baby thing happened. Why couldn't you tell me? And he's like, I don't remember. It seems like listening to myself saying that's kind of like, he sounds like a cop out. But I'm like, I don't know. Again, here's the thing about closure. What the person is saying to you could just be to make you feel better. It could be the truth. You don't know. But you have to ask yourself, okay, why am I looking for closure? Do I want to get back together with this person, or is there, do I feel like there's a question that I have that has not been answered? And why do you need that answer so badly? How is it going to make your life different? Because as he was speaking and telling me his side of the story, I was like, okay, I understand that. I knew part of it. Like, in me, just being the person that I am, I was like, okay, I know you're going through 1, 2, 3. But also being me, I feel like that should not stop you from being with me if you really want to be, you know? But then many women think about things differently. People think about things differently. If somebody's going through a tough time, they want to be alone. Or they just want to know there's somebody out there who cares about me and keep them close enough to get the comfort that they want, but far away enough that it does not feel like a burden to them to have that person. And I kind of feel that that is what was happening with us. And honestly, the way we broke up all the time is either me just saying like, this is not working because you're not talking to me. It was a long distance relationship for most of the 4 years. There's no, like, I'm making effort, but my effort is not met. And I don't know if he needed closure, but it's just a conversation we have just stumbled upon because we were talking about something else, and we stumbled upon it, and then he just told me the stuff, and I kind of, okay, no, I get it, but then at the same time, I don't. Did I need the closure? Maybe. I don't know. I wasn't seeking for it. I think in my head I was like, okay, it's been 6 years, and now I know he has a baby. Even though those words never came out of his mouth, I know he does. He acknowledges that, and we're fine. We're friendly. We're not friends. We're friendly. As in, if for whatever reason I need his help, I can say, hey, I need help, and he can help me. Same with me. I don't do that whole enemies with the ex thing. Except I've recently had to block some people because they just don't know boundaries. Anyway, so that was my thing about closure. Closure is supposed to give you peace about the past. But when it comes to relationships, I realized it really doesn't. And some people, when they say they want closure, they mean in between your legs. They just want to have sex one last time. And you're like, how is that going to help? Except break me on the inside. Like, oh my God. Also sex with an ex is complicated if there are feelings involved. It's very complicated. But it can also be safe as in, this is a familiar person, I just want to have sex for the sake of, I just want to orgasm. And that's somebody I know who knows me. I don't have to go through that awkwardness of figuring out someone's body and stuff. So yeah, that was my thought about closure. So what do you think, guys? How has closure worked out for you? Has it worked? Have you gone seeking for closure, or has it found you like like it found me? And I do have another story about closure, but that one is a bit sad because it involved a lot of I don't want to say name calling. It involved a lot of finger pointing, right? And I'm really that person who like, okay, acknowledge the shit that I've done, acknowledge that I've done shit. At the same time, I feel like if you felt some type of way about something, you should have said something. I'm very much that person. I will acknowledge my shit, but don't put your stuff on me. Like, okay, I act as much as I acted this way because, like, for example, if my boyfriend is not talking to me and I decide to go have sex with an ex. I can't say, no, you're not talking to me, so I went and had sex with someone. You can't do that. You're like, okay, fine. I fucked up. I went and cheated. I I did that because I felt it's not an excuse, it's just a fact. That was my thought process with that action. It's still fucked up. I did that, but I'm sorry. And then you figure out if you're gonna continue, you don't. And then if someone's like, but I wasn't talking to you because you were doing one to and there's no acknowledgement of, yeah, I wasn't talking to you, I'm very sorry. It's like, what is the point? Then, there's also closures within a relationship, like especially when you guys have fights. But that's a topic for another day before I end up talking your ears off. But anyway, that is what I had for you today. Please subscribe to my channel and share with your friends. Let the community come over here. We're still doing audios. So we just moved into videos. So every Friday we are here, midnight. So we're going to be sitting, sipping, and chatting. Until next time, stay saucy.